doing anything for $1. They tell me get him, I got him. I did it without an album. I did shit with
Mariah.
Hold on.
Little nigga, I'm on fire. Icy as a hockey rink.
Oh,
Little
shit.
Nigga, I'm fire. When I bought the Rolls Royce, they
I thought it was leased.
Then I bought that new Ferrari. Hater, rest in peace. Hater, rest in peace. Rest in peace to the parking lot.
God damn, what does he do it?
Can't even fit in the parking spot. You ain't talking about my niggas, then what you talking about? Gangsters move in silence, nigga, and I don't talk a lot. I don't say a word. I don't say a word.
Okay.
So my grind and now I got what I deserve. Fuck, nigga. Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
Woo! All right, we're good. Fuck it. And welcome back to episode 11 of Backhouse Productions. Our newest guest, Shannon Edwards,
Shambug.
football savant.
I guess you can say that.
So Shannon, you went to Ridgeview High School, and then you didn't go to UCLA. You went straight to Fresno.
Yeah, I went straight to Fresno. So I got offered by UCLA early in my junior year. Like, you know, they come around in March. They offered me pretty early. Went to a few of their camps. I was balling at that time. My mindset was exactly where it was supposed to be. But UCLA sucked. Right?
UCLA sucked at the time.
They were terrible. I think the year that I committed to them, they won 3 games that junior year.
What year was that?
2010 football season. That was my junior year.
So that was like before Morn even came in.
Yeah, so they sucked. The next year was the first year of the Pac-12 championship, right? And they go 6-6, and they make the Pac-12 championship.
6-6.
6-6. And then they played Oregon. Obviously, it was before Mariota. They had whoever.
Who was it?
It was a black dude.
Yeah. It's a guy.
Thomas.
He like left early, fucked himself.
Yeah, Thomas. They got blew out by Oregon. Literally, as the game's going on the ticker, Rick Neuheisel fired.
Oh, Rick Neuheisel. Okay,
Yeah,
that's who the coach
so Rick
was.
Neuheisel got fired. Mora came. He hired literally every guy he hired is a great recruiter of LA.
Mm-hmm.
So they were getting all these LA guys, a 4 or 5 star. I was a 3-star from Bakersfield. Nobody gave a damn about me. And I thought I made it. I thought it was going to be good. And then a week before signing day, they were like, we want you to gray shirt because we got better guys.
Wow.
So it wasn't even a grade thing. It was like, we got better guys. I'm like, what the fuck? How
I
do
just
you
need
know?
you to develop.
Yeah, but how do you know that they're better than me?
Exactly.
The stars don't matter.
And these are all guys that, like, on the 7-on-7 circuit I played with. Our teams won championships, and they weren't better than me. So I'm like, how do you know? How do you know he's better?
So what was the story? Like, how did you get a scholarship from UCLA? Like, what was the thing you did to convince them to scholarship you?
My junior year, I was decent. I was a first-team all-area player. Only reason I was first-team all-area, though, is because our defense, I think we gave up, like, 7 points a game. So it was me, Bryson Keaton, who ended up going to Nevada Reno. He played corner. Kyrie Wilson went to Fresno with me. They were a year older than me. He played outside linebacker. Kyrie's still playing in the NFL or in CFL now. So we were pretty good, and it was people coming around for them.
Yeah.
So Bryson was 6'3", whatever, was faster than me. And then Kyrie was committed to Oregon. So people were coming around. And, you know, they come around and it's like, hey, this guy's pretty good. And I was a track guy, so everybody loved the track guy fast. And then after my junior year, I kind of, like, started putting in the work in. So I went down south. I trained with a team. It was, like, the first 7-on-7 team to, like, modern-day 7-on-7. I played for probably the first team of that. They're called B2G.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, they're still around.
They're still around, but they were the first people to actually do it. So I started training with B2G, and I kind of got out of, like, I'm the best in Bakersfield to get to that aspect of, like, I'm one of the best in California. And then as we started it going, I was going out there every weekend, sometimes twice a weekend. Then we got to around March when they started coming around. I was, like, super fast at the time. I had just came off track season. And then I was going to their camps, their summer camps. Their first summer camp, I ran a 4.340. So they were like, fuck. Like,
Was it hand or laser?
it was hand, but shit.
I mean, that's fucking
That's
ridiculous.
incredible.
Still do that. And it was 4.3 on 4 different clocks. So they all, like, got together and they showed each other the clock. One of the coaches showed me his clock. He was like, I don't know what the fuck happened, but he had me at a 4.31. I was like, all right, I might be the fastest guy on earth,
Dude, what is that even like, running a 4.3?
The thing is like, I was super light at the time. So I was probably the fastest at that time in my life because I was like 165 pounds.
Okay.
And I played my freshman year at Fresno at 185. So I never really got back to that speed. But
Oh, so you put on, like, right when you went to Fresno, you put on 20 pounds?
I started preparing for Fresno. Like, as soon as I signed, I took, like, a month off, and then I started preparing. So, they send you, like, the little packet
Yeah.
The workout packet. I followed that shit to a T. Like, I'm talking like
You did everything.
workout at 5. I'm at the gym at 5. From 5 to 7:30, I'm working out. I followed the meal plan, everything. So when I got there, I was 180. And then I just put on 5 extra pounds just to get ready to play.
They were probably so happy that you did that because I'm guessing a lot of guys just
Come in small
Yeah,
or come in
exactly.
like weak. And that's kind of the disadvantage because it's like, hey, you're really good, but you're getting bullied by these older guys. I was never really like a guy that they can bully. And I was athletically, I could match up with all of them. So it helped out a lot.
Dude, that's good because that that college conditioning is so different.
It's so different.
So different. It hits you like a fucking wall.
And they do so much. I remember my first one. You guys probably do the same thing. It was called 60s. It's called fast 60s, right?
Okay.
We had to run 60 yards. But we had 9 seconds. So I'm used to like high school, like give it all you got, fucking run as fast as you can. I'm like coming down the line at 5 every time. Me and my roommate, because he was also like a faster guy.
Yeah.
And this is like rep 6, coming at 5 every time. And one of the guys was like, hey, bro, you better relax. We got 35 of these. I was like, oh, what the fuck? Everyone for the rest of the time, I came in at 9. I was like, we got 35.
35?
We used to do 35 60s.
35, 6. So how long does that take? An hour?
No, like 20 minutes. It was
oh,
crazy.
they bump them out.
As soon as the linemen cross, the skills are going.
What the
At 20, we got a water break, 2 minutes, that's it. Our water break was literally walk down and back. Grab water while you're walking, back on the line.
Holy
so we'll
shit.
go, skills started, intermediates. As soon as the bigs cross, it's like, get your fucking hand down. We're going.
No, we never did anything like that. That's
It
insane.
used to take like all of 25 minutes. It was crazy.
Is it did you guys ever do like the 4th of July run around the stadium?
No, our strength coach, like, he let us have a lot of rest. He's in the NFL now. He's with the Bengals, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was big on rest. He was kind of more of a player guy. He wasn't really like, he would yell at us, but every time he yelled at us, you can tell it came from the coaches. It was like targeted. So he'll be like, hey, JP sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Jose, get JP out of here. So he'll pick on JP, like, JP, get the fuck out of my face, right? But we never, so 4th of July, we'll have to do a conditioning test. We'll have to do 4 full gassers with 30 seconds rest in between.
So that's down back cross fields going down back is one gasser.
We had to do 4 with 30 seconds rest.
Such a
in
bitch,
between.
dude. I remember last year we had to do like this track workout, and it was like you had to run like 8 200s, and then you had to get there in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Horrible,
Yeah.
like horrible. Like I've never been in the best shape of my life. Last year, best shape I've ever been in. Like I've never been able to run that far, run that fast. It was like fucking insane.
And you guys were actually on the track for that?
Yeah, that was like beginning of summer workouts. We started like first day on the track, and we did that for 2 weeks straight, just going on the track every day.
It's kind of crazy, too. It's like, if you think about it, you know, people track how many calories they burn.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at how many calories you burn, like if you would wear an Apple Watch, even with Peters right now, if you wear the Apple Watch from the time you guys lift, run, and do practice, I guarantee you'll burn almost 1,200 calories in one day.
Oh, I believe it.
It's
Just
like,
between those 2 hours that were
yeah, just
on the
those
field.
2 hours, because it's like, if you look at like your Apple Watch and it's like high intensity training, right? And you look how many calories you burn in an hour of doing that. So you did that in the weight room. Then you're going out to the field and you're practicing. And even if you're not doing shit, it's just like, hey, lineman, jog it down. I just ran 70 yards, right?
Yep.
It's just like,
And you got
hey,
weight on you.
yeah,
You're carrying weight.
Exactly. So it's like how many calories you burn in a practice and all that stuff. You have no choice but to be in the best shape of your life. So you see like linemen go, like it's kind of funny that linemen have to eat to keep their weight. You know, it's like, like, hey, you're getting skinny. Like you need to eat. You need to eat. So you'll see guys that have to sit in the cafeteria and eat 4,000 or 5,000 calories. Just
They'll have to come in early and eat.
yeah, and they'll have someone watching them just so they can keep their weight because of how active you are. They're in, I mean, pretty much year round. Right?
Yeah.
You can't even.
Dude, it
Don't
is
get
year
a break.
round. It is. Honestly, when I went to Fresno last year, or 2 years ago, 2020, I mean, I don't know. Like, you go to Garces, I thought I was kind of, like, ready for it because of gas, just how, like, fucking crazy he was. But, it's just another level of just, like, not only competition, just, like, guys that are just as good as you equally, but also just, like, the coaches are always pressing on you. Like, they're always there. They're always, like, just watching you to see if you'll fuck up.
You're always being evaluated.
You're
though.
always being watched. Always jotting down notes. That was the worst thing for me was like doing this like workout, like the conditioning, and just like you're tired, like you're super tired, and you just see your OC just like looking straight at you, just writing down notes.
Yeah, that part of it is like mentality. I try to like push it in all the people that I touch is like, every day is game day. You have to treat every time you do something with the team, it has to be, I'm getting ready for a game.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of people like kind of like take things easy. Like, all right, it's summer lifting. I'm gonna chill. Like you see, like their bench max go up 10 pounds. Like, oh, I got stronger, but like I missed once a week, or I was spotty in my attendance. It's like if you're not prepping for game while you're lifting, you might as well take it off. You might as well not even do it.
Don't even play.
Because we're evaluating you. Two, a lot of times, like your OC was developing his opinion on you from the way you were working out. It's just like, oh, Joe quit this workout. What is he going to do on the team when we're down by 20 in the second quarter, right? Or like Joe can't run. He's not taking it serious. Why is Joe the only one that's not finishing the runs when all the other quarterbacks are? What is Joe doing? So now I can't depend on Joe to do anything, right? They kind of write you off. As shitty as it is, they'll write guys off in the summer. Be like, oh, you missed 3 workouts. You're not committed to the team. They start you off on the depth chart as a 4. And we all know when you're a 4,
you're done.
In college, you get no reps. You get 2 707 reps, and that's it. You're like,
if that.
Great practice for me today, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they're taking a gamble on you, especially if you're a scholarship guy. They expect so much out of you, I feel. I mean, I haven't been to the D1 level. I've only been at BC, but my God, I couldn't even imagine it, really.
One of my coaches told me early, he was like, we don't know anything about any of the recruits. He was like, we're basing our opinion on you, and we're giving you $100,000 based off of your grades, your film, and what people in your community say about you. He was like, we don't have enough time to get to know you and like know if you're going to be good. We don't watch you enough to know exactly if you're going to be good. It's like, hey, your high school film looks good, but you ran for 4,000 yards, but you went to Taft and you played these smaller schools, right? So that's why a lot of times those big schools get guys out, because they know, all right, you're good against this school. We know you're gonna be pretty decent. But a lot of times they just base their opinions off you on grades, your 3-minute highlight tape, and what people in your community say about you.
But there's certain schools that like find these gems, like come out of nowhere. Like they got to be doing something different to actually like, know this person or like have an idea. Just say, I'm gonna give him a chance.
A lot of times the gems are hidden for a reason. A perfect example is this guy I played with. His name's Curtis Riley. He was freak athlete. I mean, he was probably 6 foot tall, played corner, 6'6" wingspan, right?
Okay.
6 foot tall, 6'6" wingspan.
Long arms.
Like the longest arms you'll ever see. Went to, I can't even think what school he went to. Went to a Division III school. He was from Florida. Went to a Division III school in Georgia, I think, or North Carolina, somewhere back east. Balled. He was a baller. Like I think he was first team All-American at the Division III school. Then he goes to Fullerton. He had some like paperwork issues, some Form 1, whatever. I don't know what the story was. He was on the practice squad. He didn't play one game. One of our coaches go out there and he's watching. It was like late, like right before camp, because it was my sophomore year, the year they were really good. Right before camp, they were like, "Hey, you got a corner," and their coach was like, "Hey, we got this guy who's never played." They watched the film and they're like, "Oh shit, this guy, if he actually played, would be a star." So they offered him. They're like, whatever, let's bring him in. We just need a body. Like, it don't matter if he's good or bad. If he's a body, he's a body, you know?
Yeah.
He came in. I mean, he played. He started almost all games. He was a baller. Ended up going to the NFL, played 6 years. Played last year in Tampa Bay. He got hurt. That's the reason why he's still not in there. But, like, those hidden gems are hidden.
Because of something else that happened down the line.
It's not always just like, hey, we found this kid from Garces and he's a hidden gem. A lot of times the hidden gems are like, hey, coach, this guy went through this situation. If you take a chance on him, I guarantee that he's going to be good.
He'll prevail.
Yeah. So some coaches are really good at finding the hidden gems. Some coaches are kind of old school in their recruiting, and they're like, hey, I want this guy and this guy only. Don't talk about anybody else.
Are there coaches that just go based off like stars?
I don't know. I would say the big schools do go off stars, but also if you look at those guys at the big schools, like if you look at their O-linemen, everybody's 6'6", 350 pounds.
It's hard to miss.
Yeah, so it's hard to miss on those guys. Skill position-wise, just a common rule that we used to have at Fresno, and while we used to be able to play with a lot of guys, we used to say if you're a 2-star or a 5-star, the difference from a normal guy isn't that big. So it's like the difference between me and whatever corner that was at SC when I was at Fresno, it was not a big difference, right? It's just only you're at SC and I'm at Fresno.
Yep.
Right? We used to lose those games in the trenches. We didn't lose them on the perimeter a lot of times.
That's the biggest thing. It's the line.
We lost probably 2 games to those big schools on the perimeter. USC, my junior year, first game junior year, is when they had Juju. They had Adoree. He was playing offense at the time. Those guys beat us on the perimeter. And Ole Miss. Ole Miss whooped our ass on the perimeter.
I remember when you guys played Ole Miss.
Yeah, they whooped our ass.
Did you play SC in that bowl, the Vegas Bowl?
We put them in the Vegas Bowl.
Was that against Kessler?
And then we put them the first game of the year the next year.
Oh,
so
really?
We technically put them back to back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was.
So what happened the year after the bowl game? Did you guys win that game or?
We lost, but we were in the game.
Yeah.
I think we lost 42-24. First play of the game, our 2-time all-conference first-team player, I think he had 26 career picks, dropped a pick. He never dropped a pick in his life.
Oof.
First play of the game, dropped a pick. That would have been pick 6. And we all say, like, that changed our season. We would have been.
Just because he dropped the pick?
It's such a big momentum swing.
Yeah, big momentum swing.
That's a lot of pressure to put on a guy. He dropped that. We sucked because of that.
And it was like, he knows it. He's like, bro, I should have caught it. It was a perfect play, too. We had a corner blitz, replaced the corner in man coverage with the safety. They threw a hitch. He's full speed, full steam ahead, drops it. It would have been a pick 6 easy.
Oh.
So it's like, with those guys, SC, we going in those games with the mentality like we have to come out here and create a dogfight. When you guys played Oregon, it's like we're gonna make it a dogfight, but we have to be perfect.
Dude, you know what's funny?
Any play you make that's not perfect, we're gonna lose.
Yeah.
We have to be 100% grades, every single person. If anybody grades out at 80%, that 80% is gonna be 2 touchdowns easily. So I mean, that's usually what happens. Is like we make 1, 2, 3 mistakes. They can make 10 mistakes, but they also have NFL starting left tackle, NFL center, NFL running back, NFL quarterback. We don't. Like, our guys are going to go be doctors and lawyers.
Didn't you have Carr on the team? Wasn't Derek Carr your quarterback?
In the bowl game, he was.
What year are we? So this is
2013.
13. He comes in.
We had Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Tyler Davison, who still plays. I think we had from that team. 11 guys went to the NFL. That was probably one of the best teams in Fresno State history.
Yeah.
We would have had the best record, but we didn't play one game.
You didn't play a game?
So that year, Colorado, the year before my freshman year, we beat Colorado like 73-20. Like Pac-12 Colorado, we put up 73 points on them. It was crazy. Like
it was ridiculous.
It was
that
ridiculous.
Year.
Like I had 2 sacks. That's how,
That's
how
awesome.
crazy we were going.
They were throwing
like,
that much.
Yeah, I was like sacking them and shit. I was like, yeah, I'm going crazy, right? And Devontae Adams went nuts. Robbie Rouse, who was a Fresno State all-time leading rusher, went crazy. Like we went crazy that game. The year after, Colorado flooded. Like the University of Colorado had a huge flood, and we were supposed to play them there. Mm-hmm. And they flooded the week of our game. So we still prepped for our game. We tried everything in our power to play the game at a neutral site. Like
they don't want to come to Fresno?
They didn't want to come to Fresno. So we just lost the game. So we only had 11 games that year. And that year we went
was it 11-1?
We went 11-2 that year.
And then lost to SC in the bowl game?
With the loss to SC.
That was the only loss?
Yeah, with the loss. Because we lost to San Jose in the regular season.
Yeah.
That put us at 10-1, and then we played SC in the bowl game. We went 11-2. But if we would have had extra game, we would have went 12-2, and we would have been the best team in Fresno State history.
Dude, I can't believe Fresno's never been a Power 5 game. Like a bowl or a New Year's Six bowl.
The only hard part about it is is Boise. Boise always spoils it. And then if you think about you guys played Nevada last year at Fresno. Nevada and Fresno, they had kind of equal guys.
They were really good.
It was very equal. Same thing with Boise. Boise always has the equal athletes, but somehow, I don't know how, they recruit linebackers and D linemen phenomenally.
Oh, dude,
they always have the best linebackers and the best D line in the Mountain West. So Fresno always you always see them 8-1. You guys played Oregon perfect.
Yeah.
You guys lost. You go and beat UCLA, and then it's damn, they lost to Boise.
They lose Boise.
Or damn, they lost to Nevada. Or damn, they lost to San Jose. That's what happened to us. We played San Jose.
Dude, that was a shootout. That was
shootout. Oh, they funny.
2 NFL quarterbacks though. David Fills.
2 NFL quarterbacks. Probably total of 15 NFL guys on the field in that
insane.
game. I mean, when I say NFL guys, I mean guys that went and had a little time. But total of 15 NFL guys. It was nuts. It was a shootout. It was at 4:00 in the afternoon. It was update So, like, no one cares about Fresno State, San Jose
Yep.
on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN kept putting up the stats. Like, first half, I think the game was 45-35.
That's crazy.
With, like, Derek already threw, like, 400 yards, and their quarterback already threw 350. They were like, damn, this is a fucking shootout. And that game, honestly, if we would have won, we would have went to it was the first year of the
Yeah, that would have been
we would have went. We would have played Baylor. We would have played your brother, actually.
That would have been fucking
Yeah,
insane.
That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
Now, is Boise Fresno State's biggest rivalry, or San Jose?
On paper, San Jose.
San Jose.
It's Boise.
But
It's
for us,
Boise.
it's Boise.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
For us, it's like you hear it all the time. Buck Foisey. Like
Mhm.
we'd say Buck Foisey. Fuck Boise. Like
Uh-huh.
I hate Boise State, right? But on paper, San Jose, because San Jose is not that far. We played San Jose. That game that we lost, we played at San Jose. It was like a high school game. One side was red, one side was blue.
Fresno State travels very well.
They travel
my
well.
God. Dude, when we played UCLA in the Rose Bowl, there was more Fresno State fans than UCLA fans in the Rose Bowl.
That was the craziest game ever.
It was the game of the year last year.
Yeah.
They voted game of the year last year.
That game was crazy. I remember we played whoever we played right after. I got home. Me and my wife went to Buffalo Wild Wings. It was me, my wife, and some other random guy. He had a Fresno State hat on. He was sitting at the end of the bar, and then I'm looking at my wife. I'm trying not to scream inside of fucking Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm trying to keep my composure, and then the guy looks at me. He starts shooting closer and closer. Towards the end of the game, it's me and him, and my wife was like, "Oh, well, you got a new little boyfriend?" I was like, "You just mad."
Yeah. That's so funny. So, okay, so in that San Jose game, it's 45-35 at half. What's your defensive coach saying? Like just don't let them fucking score, or like slow them down a little bit?
So that game we had towards the end of that year, we started having injuries. We had guys falling off. I didn't play well that year. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably my worst year of college football. Just mentally, I was
13.
Yeah, the year that we were really good, I was really bad. Like,
What do you think it was?
mentally, I wasn't all the way I wasn't locked into like the everyday grind of football, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like
biggest
whenever shit was going bad, it was never my fault. It was like, they don't like me. They playing me. And then you kind of get like the burnout of it. It's like, damn, I've been at this shit for a year and a half now.
It's a lot, yeah.
Because I went to summer my freshman year, and then we're going. So I'm like,
It overheated? Here, stop the recording. Stopped right now? Now we're back on?
get your shit together, Nick.
God damn it, cameraman Nick.
1318.
Right when you press it, we can start the recording thing. Sorry, apologies for our crew over here. We have the worst crew, I think,
We do.
out of any podcast in Bakersfield. If there is a podcast class in Bakersfield, I think we're the only ones. But yeah, we have a new cameraman. Cameraman Eli's gone. Fucking guy went to Humboldt, wants to go smoke pot. But yeah. Now we got fucking cameraman Nick, the guy who said he would never come on the podcast. Now he's behind the screen. Now he's trying to fucking sabotage us from behind.
Yep. He's jealous.
It's ridiculous. And you can show yourself. I mean, you can say I'm the guy who fucked up the quality of the video. But anyways,
You'll never be Jamie.
never be Jamie with your bitch ass. Okay, so you had those 2 sacks against SC or Colorado.
Yeah. So that year we were really good, right? So we lost that game because Colorado didn't want to play us, essentially, right?
Gosh.
You can say whatever it is. It was also a blessing in disguise because Boise that year was dogs. They had DeMarcus Lawrence on their defensive line.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So can you imagine lining up
DeMarcus Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence wearing number 8?
Oh
You're
my
like,
God, yeah.
my God, he's the biggest human you ever seen in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we actually got to steal because we were going to travel on Friday. We didn't go. So that day, we were like, hey, the coach was like, put your shit on, go out to the field. We have walkthrough for Boise.
What?
Yeah, so we started practicing for Boise. Friday, Saturday, we had Sunday off, and then we got into Boise. So we got to beat Boise. But that game, it messed us up from being the best team.
Dude, I'd be
Quote,
so
unquote.
pissed. You're about to get ready for a game, and they're like, all right, practice.
And it was one of those games, too. That year, they were actually pretty good. They had Paul Richardson at receiver, I think.
Oh, the guy who got drafted by the Seahawks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think 4 games in, I think he had over, he led the nation in receiving yards. I think he had over, 42 yards a catch or something crazy. All he ran was posts.
Yeah, just go balls.
So we were kind of, not nervous. We weren't going in like we were going to win, but we also had Derek Carr and Devontae Adams,
Yeah.
who were crazy.
What is that like at practice? Like just seeing those guys, just seeing like what they are now, going back and just saying like, okay, these guys were the real deal at practice.
You know what's crazy? We had 3 guys that year. We had Devontae Adams, we had Isaiah Burst, who played 6 years in the NFL at receiver, and we had Josh Harper, who, I mean, he just wasn't as athletic as Devontae, but receiver-wise, he was just up there with him. So practice, a lot of times, wasn't really like, for us, we started getting complacent with giving up catches because it's like, hey, you're in a good spot, but, I mean, what can you do about that? So practice was crazy. Like, I remember one of those practices, I dropped an interception against Derek, and Derek walked up to me and was like, good play. You should have came down with it because I'll never give you a chance again to pick me off.
What?
And
He's talking that shit.
I never got a chance again. It was like, whatever. Like, everything was perfect, you know. And those guys, their mentality, like I always talk about, like, your mentality got to be game-like every day. Those guys came to practice every single day. You knew they weren't taking a day off, right? Devontae was coming, running his routes. At the time, he was a good route runner. I'm not going to say he wasn't as good as a route runner, but at the time, he was, like, what you don't know about Devontae Adams, he's 220 pounds, right? And he's strong as an ox, and he could jump out the gym. So they'll just stand up and throw him the ball, and they'll say, tackle him.
Yeah.
So at the time, it was just like, you knew team reps. He has a video still to this day. He sent it to me probably 2 years ago of him just stiff-arming me to the dirt. It was crazy. Like, they just threw him the ball. He stiff-armed the fuck out of me and scored a touchdown. He, like, every time, like, he'll post something, like a clip from practice, and I'll be like, oh, good play, bro. He'll send me that clip.
He'll just send you that every time.
Fuck off.
How was that, like, running ones against him?
He's so like so good.
Yeah, he was good. At the time, he wasn't as, like, crafty as he is now. Because now you got a lot more time in the NFL, right? They set you up to run good routes. But at that time, if the ball was in the air, like goal line one-on-ones, like, you know, you play the ball, you play the man, then you play the ball. We just playing all the man. It's like, bro, we just trying to get this ball out. Because one-on-ones against him, you go against him, you lose. You're like, oh, fuck. And then it's like, I'm not going to go against him this rep. I'm going to go against somebody else. And then you're going against an NFL guy again. And you're like, oh, fuck. And, like, a lot of times in one-on-ones, you're like, quarterbacks don't throw a bad ball. We had Derek Carr and Brian Burrell, who's a 3C2A state champion. So it's like.
No, the BC guy.
It was no bad balls, yeah.
Dude, how good was Brian Burrell?
Brian wasn't bad. Brian was good. The only thing that hurt Brian is he came after Derek Carr. So it's like you go from Derek Carr to Brian Burrell, and it's like, well, you're good, but you're not Derek. But it's like, I'm also good, though. Like, so, like, it kind of sucked because Derek Carr, he called a lot of the offense. So, you know, 4 verts, 2x2, someone has the bender.
Yeah.
Derek will come up and change who has the bender route based upon who he wanted to run.
That
or
sounds
he'll
awesome.
come up, and it's like, we call a run. He's checking an out to Devontae Adams, or he's checking bubble to Isaiah Burst. He ran a lot of the offense. And then you go to do Brian Burrell. Derek also played 5 years in college, right? You go to Brian Burrell, and it's like, hey, Brian, be Derek, and it's hard to be Derek, right?
Yeah. Sorry. How do you think Derek Carr and Devontae are going to do it for the Raiders this year?
I think they worked out every year since they've been in the NFL together.
So they've always been in touch?
They've always been in touch. So the continuity to that is going to be crazy. So, I mean, based on injury, you got Josh McDaniels, who's probably one of the best offensive coordinators around, right? He's always been one of the best. He's been with Brady. So it's he's always been with Brady and all this stuff. So Derek, he's only going to get better, right? Because they're going to simplify his reads. It's not going to be as old school. Last year, Derek had to do a whole bunch of play action, turn his back. We all know when you turn your back, it's hard to read defenses. A lot of deeper shots trying to hit rugs and stuff just because they tried to revolutionize their offense. But now with Devontae, it's going to be crazy. One of the bets I'm going to place is Derek Carr for MVP.
Dude,
really?
Just for the odds. It's like, whatever, like.
What? Yeah, what are his odds?
I have no idea, but I know they're high.
Yeah.
Because Josh Allen's number one. Lamar Jackson's always going to be higher than Derek. Mahomes is always going to be higher than
Probably
Derek.
Herbert's probably better.
Herbert, you got to think about
Wilson.
Aaron Rodgers, Wilson, all those guys are going to be higher. Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,
guys like
Stafford.
that are always going to be higher than Derek Carr just because it's like, the Raiders, right? The Oakland Raiders. Whatever Derek's odds are, I might put a paycheck on it. Get rich off this.
Dude, I'm so hesitant to even put any faith in the Raiders because I feel like every time I expect the Raiders to be good, something bad happens. Like, I mean, case in point, last year they start off the year 3-1. Like, okay, this could be their year. They're gonna make the playoffs. The whole Gruden thing happens, and you have the whole Henry Ruggs thing happens. It's just like
That was some shit.
It's
for
just
the
always like a
Raiders last
circus.
year.
It's tough. But one thing about the Raiders organization, you have Derek Carr, who's rooted in faith and family.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Derek, I guarantee if you talk to him, it's faith, family, football.
Yeah.
So when you got someone rooted like that in faith, family, football, who only cares about winning, right? Because it's like he's made crazy money. His
Over
brother
200.
His brother made crazy money. So he's not playing football for, I'm just here to change my family's life. He's playing football because he loves that shit, right? So it's like faith, family, football. When you got a guy like that in your locker room, they still make the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from the top. So you got Derek, who's probably every day meeting with these guys, talking to these guys through the situation, instilling faith in all these guys, making sure all these guys know that, like, hey, this situation is shitty, but let's make the best of it.
Yeah.
So, like, when you have a guy like that in your locker room leading the team, you're always going to be better off than if it's a guy who kind of sulks and molts and, oh, look at me, I'm still going to get me, you know, those guys. Derek's not one of those guys. Derek don't give a damn about his personal stats. Even though he puts up numbers, he don't care about his personal stats.
Dude, he had some crazy stats in college.
Oh,
like,
man.
crazy stats.
I think he threw –
Dude, he had, like, back-to-back 50 touchdown years.
Yeah,
5,000 yards.
It was crazy. It was crazy those years. It was fun. I remember being on kickoff and like me and the homies would look at each other like, bro, I'm tired of going out here. Stop scoring, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, we put up 42 in the first quarter. It's cool. I don't want to go back out there.
You guys put up 42 points in a quarter?
Some games. I can't remember the game, but we put up. I think we were playing New Mexico. We put up a lot of points against New Mexico.
Oh, dude, New Mexico. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was probably cakewalk.
They had guys, man.
New Mexico?
Yeah, it was crazy. The Mountain West, when we played, like, if you look, there was guys that went, like, San Diego State had 2 running backs that went to the NFL. So, like, that's
Okay.
crazy. You had
Yeah, who were the running backs? Just-
Donnell Pumphrey and Rashard Penny.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I hosted Rashard Penny on the trip
Dude.
to Fresno.
Oh, really?
They wanted him to play safety. He was not messing with it. I was like, come on, man, please. And then we go and we're like, hey, Rashard Penny, remember that dude? He got the ball and was like, oh, man, this guy's different. We should have offered him to play running back. You know?
Damn. Okay, so I'm interested to talk more about, like, okay, so you have Derek Carr, you have this unbelievable quarterback, probably the best quarterback that's ever gone to Fresno State, and then the next year with Burrell, I mean, was he like the projected starter after Carr?
So that year, we had a guy who went to the Elite 11 that came to Fresno. He was from Stockton, right? So when Derek left, obviously it's the coaches, you know, it's an open quarterback competition, right? So they were splitting reps between a few guys. I can't remember all the guys that we got.
But it was an open competition. There was nobody coming in as the
It was
guy.
an open competition. Then we also got a guy from Duke. He came from Duke. He's from SoCal. But at Duke, I think he was one of the top rushing touchdown guys in the nation because they would put him in goal line situations. He was a running quarterback. So we had Burrell. We had all that going. We lost a lot of our guys, like a lot of our quality guys from the year before we lost. So it was like almost a new team.
It's like a rebuilding year.
Yeah, it wasn't even rebuilding because we were still really good. Like we should have. We'll get into that later. But Burrell, he struggled. We started with USC. Then we played.
Did he play at all? Like, did he get like a chance to play a game?
Yeah, he started at SC.
He started the SC game?
He started like 8 games that year.
What?
Yeah, so we went that year. We played SC Utah when Utah was like on the rise. They weren't Utah of now, but they were good. We played SC Utah Nebraska. Nebraska was number 10 team in the nation. SC was 15. Utah, I think the week after they almost beat Oregon. So like the first 3 games it was tough. And then Burrell felt that, right? And then the coaches, obviously, you want Derek Carr, you want the offense to be moving like Derek Carr. So now they're looking internally for a new quarterback. And then that's when the rotation started. The rotation kind of got weird. We'll move the ball and then we'll put another quarterback in. We won't move the ball. It was weird. And then that next year, they brought in a guy who was committed to Mississippi State. I don't even know how he got
So this
to
is
Fresno.
2015 now?
Yeah, 2015. They recruited a guy from Mississippi State. And then, again, like Burrell ended the year. We played in the Mountain West Championship. We should have beat Boise. We lost by 1 touchdown. Our offense was not good at all that year. But, Burrell started 8 games, and they come in again with, like, this is an open quarterback competition. Burrell wasn't getting very many reps. He already graduated college. You know, he's kind of like, man, you know.
He's kind of done with
I'm
it.
going to go be whatever he's doing, making crazy money, traveling the world.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the hard part about keeping guys, because again, it's like football is tough, right? And then you start seeing your friends start graduating, and now they're working, and now they're making money, and they're like, hey, let's go to Vegas, and it's like, oh, I can't, I got practice.
Yeah.
So now it's like, do I really want to do this while also being ridiculed for stuff that like is not necessarily really my fault? So I mean, that's what really happened that next year.
I think we talked about this like last year about just like the mental part of the game, just like, you know, going to practice every day, waking up at 5:15, and then just seeing pictures of your friends or buddies just like doing all these things, going to parties, you know, like a normal college lifestyle. It's just like, I mean, honestly, that was probably the biggest challenge for me, which is like this is my job, like this is what I have to do, and I can't do what everybody else is doing.
Exactly.
Like you literally have to dedicate your life to this.
Exactly. I remember we used to walk. We used to be like coming home. We'll start at 5. We used to have meetings at 5, lift, class, come back, meetings, practice, study hall. When we come home, we left the house at 5. We're getting back at 8. We haven't been back to our apartment all day. And we'll be walking, and we'll see like 3 guys. So I used to live in the Palazzos. So we'll be walking, and you'll see 3 guys playing Xbox at the Palazzos. We'll be like, what the fuck? Fuck you. What the fuck you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Get a job or something, you bums, right? So now you guys just kind of embrace the fact that, like, this is what I'm here to do, right? And this is the only thing, this is the only reason why I'm here. Some guys, they're not going to college unless they play football, right? Or some guys, they want to make it to the NFL. And you have to kind of sit down and reassess why you're here. Every year, though.
Yeah.
So what happened my sophomore year, when I was saying, it might have been off camera, but my sophomore year was the worst year because I was like, well, do I really want to go to the NFL? I don't know. Why am I here? I don't know. I'm just here, like, just to have fun. And it's like, if you take that mentality every day, you're going to go and bullshit at practice. You're going to be like the days go. You're not going to go trying to be the best you. You're not going to go get the reps that you don't want to go get. You're not going to jump in on special teams. You're not going to do the extra work after practice, right? You're just going to kind of go through the motions. And when you go through the motions, that shows on the field. Every time you go through the motions and you step on that field, your work shows game day.
Yeah.
Your work and your preparation shows game day. So if I didn't prepare Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, travel day Friday, and I still not preparing my mind on Friday, Saturday, I'm going to go put out a shitty product on the field. Right? So you just got to kind of, especially when you're in college and you're seeing all these guys hang out, you're like, bro, I got to dedicate myself because I want to put a good product out on Saturday. And it's not necessarily just for me, right? Because like a lot of guys don't have aspirations to go to the NFL. But also, you got your family's name on your back.
Yep.
Right? You got your town's paper writing about you. So do you want them to say Shannon Edwards made 1 special team tackle, or do you want them to say starting safety Shannon Edwards made an interception?
Yeah.
And that's what kind of you got to reevaluate and really get down to the meat and potatoes of the grind of football. Because every day for football is a grind. Like today, I mean, we had practice. No one wanted to go. 6 a.m. Who wants to wake up 6 a.m.?
It was our 10th practice in 11 days.
10 practice in 11 days, wake up at 6 a.m. to go and do day 1 install all day, right? Who wants to do that? But if you're not preparing now for September 3rd, the product you put on the field September 3rd is not going to be what you want it to be. And once you get to September 3rd, it's too late. You can't make changes. You can't say, oh, I'm going to get better at down blocking right now. It's too late, right? You had 3 months to get ready, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
So now that you're not doing as good as you want, and you're wondering why, hey, coach, why aren't I getting reps? You're not getting reps because you didn't put the time in June, right? So if you put in the time in June and you get to camp and you're not in the situation you want to be, the product you put out on the field because you prepared all summer is going to show itself.
Yeah.
So
Little
now
John says it all the time.
Yeah, so now it's like, I know I did what I need to do in the summer. I'm going to go and take what my coaches are teaching me, and I'm going to put that on the field along with my own preparation. No matter what happens, I'm going to put a good product, and they're going to have to play me, right? So for me, after my sophomore year, shitty. I got moved to safety. I played corner. We had 2 safeties tear their ACL same game. So they were like, hey, you're the only one that
knows it.
Because I played nickel the first year, safety and nickel, and our defense were kind of like mirror positions, right?
Okay.
So they're like, hey, you know it, you know all the techniques. You probably don't know the coverages, but if I say, hey, we're in the fire zone, you know how to play skiff, and that's 90% of the battle. I didn't want to play safety. I went to Fresno to play corner, right? I had other offers to play corner. I had other offers to play receiver. I know safety. I never played safety a day in my life, so I started sulking on that. And then spring ball, you're still playing safety. All the coaches is playing me, blah 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 blah, right? So that spring, I was bullshitting. Like, I remember, like, turning up, like, going out till 2 a.m. and then going to spring practice at 6.
Bro, that's nuts.
I remember you telling me a story.
And wondering why we suck. Like, wondering why I'm sucking. Like, I don't know why I can't fucking put this shit together. It's like, bro, you were just out to 2 a.m.
Yeah. Dude,
And
how'd you
then
do that? Jesus.
I didn't. Like, I sucked.
But, like, dude,
I
still
wasn't good.
waking up.
So that year, I watched my name go from being a starting nickel, starting second string safety to third string. And I went to camp as a 3.
Dude, it
Three
happened so
safety.
fast.
And we all know as a 3 in college, you're getting 3 reps a game with 3 reps of practice. So at that point, luckily that summer, my mentality changed. I was like, fuck this. I'm going to do everything I need to do to get prepared so I can actually play, right?
Yep.
So when I was a 3 getting 2 reps of practice, my 2 reps were a pick and a pass breakup. So now they're like, this 2 is messing up. It's like, well,
We have a guy producing.
We have a guy producing. So I went from a 3 to starting against SC the first game.
That's so pretty good fall camp.
Yeah, it was probably like at that time it was my best. Like how I was trending to be a pretty good player. I'm not gonna say all conference because shit happens, but I was trending to be a pretty good player. And then I blew my shoulder out. I couldn't lift all year. I went from 202 to I finished the season at 182.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Didn't lift one weight from week 3 to the end of the season.
Lost 25 pounds. That's
I was thin. I remember one day I got on the scale because we weighed in every Tuesday. I was 178 and I put 2.5 pound weights in my pocket so I could still be 180.
Okay, so you're 178 towards the end.
Yeah, towards the 8 I was thin. Like
Holy shit.
My strength conditioning coach was like, he would look at me and be like, "Oh, you look sick, bro. You're sick." And I was like, "Whatever, man." Like I was still out there like being the best me I could. I could have shut that season down and redshirted.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I'm going to go out here and figure it out, thug it out, had the off-season surgery, and then going into my senior year, had the same mentality, and then just the injury started trickling down. The kind of it didn't limit me, I'm not going to say it, but it slowed me down a little bit. Just, in one game, I had a wrist harness, the J.J. Watt elbow, and a shoulder harness all in the same arm. I'm like, how the fuck I'm going to go out here and play with all this shit?
How do you even catch the ball?
I was like, whatever, bro. Let's go out here and have some fun,
Hit some guys.
And you probably still did. You went out there and did your thing.
And at the end of the day, game day is the fun day, right?
Yep.
Game day is when the show, the fans are there, your family's watching.
It's the easiest day.
Easiest
Dude,
day.
games are the best.
Easiest day. Game day. And kind of the mentality I tell my guys now, every day game day, you've been playing football since you're 8 years old. Some people started at 6. You can start at 6 now, right? You've been playing the same game. So game day, don't allow game day to get you riled up and to get out of character. You've been playing the same game, and you've been the best guy since you were 6. So what's the difference now? Nothing, right?
Yep.
If you're going with that mentality, you're always gonna be good, right?
Dude, it's so weird just to think about just like all like the game within the games of football.
Oh man,
Like, dude, football, most mentally exhausting sport ever, I think, in my opinion. I mean, a little biased playing football, but just like the amount of like, okay, like you said, like you have to go in for extra work, and those coaches are noticing that. And it's like a game. So away from the field, away from practice, now it's another game of like who's putting in the most time. And then you take into that account, and then it's like, who's the guy writing the best notes? Who's the guy asking the best questions? Who's the guy understanding the offense faster? And it's all these elements added up, and it's just, I think it's insane. It's honestly like.
you know what's crazy about football? Even on game day, it goes down to you being able to recognize what's happening, right? So you have to be able to say, all right, this team is playing us like this. And you have to be able to dictate that early, right?
Yeah.
Because the best thing to do is be like, hey, they're playing us like this. Some coaches don't see it. You're like, hey, coach, they're lining up in the A-gap and they're slanting across my face, right? So now if you allow them to slant across your face for one whole quarter waiting for a coach adjustment, you're screwed, right? So it's like, hey, I remember last series when you lined up in this formation with your left hand down, you slanted.
Yep.
So now I'm prepping for the slant. And then you get the slant. And you're like, all right, cool, boom. We fixed the slant. And then the next play, they come out, and he lines over the left hand down, and he slants away. And you're looking for him to slant too, and you're like, whoa, what the? And now you give up a sack. And now you're like, all right, they got me. So now I have to get them back, right? So it's just the cat and mouse game of football is crazy.
So technical.
On the coaching side, it's even more exhausting because now it's like I got to prep for what they do, and then I got to prep for what they might do. Then I got to prep for what the last team did to get us, to beat us, right? So now you're pretty much prepping for like 3 different game plans.
And then you got to coach it.
And then you got to coach it. And then you got to bring it to the kids and be like, they're not going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do this. And then they're like, what do you mean they're not going to do this? They run that play every game. It's like, no, it won't work against us. Then they come out and they run that play and it doesn't work. And then our kids are like, Coach, they ran this play. And it's like, it didn't work though. So like, let's worry about what's working, right? Then you got to make the adjustments and you got to keep everybody level-headed and you got to stay cool and calm and shit hits the fan all the time and it's crazy. But it's fun. It's like, there's nothing better than being in a stressful situation, right? Because like right now, you guys are like, your life is football, right?
Yeah.
When you get into the working world, it's not stressful. Like every day is the same, and it kind of gets like boring. It's like
It's mundane.
Man, I need something that excites me, right? It's like I work at a distribution center. We ship out fucking shampoos, and it's like this is the most boring thing I've ever done in my life, right? But it pays the bills, so it's whatever.
Yep.
But it's not the excitement of like having to figure out how this guy's gonna run a comeback route on me, or like how to figure out, all right, this guy releases like this when he runs a comeback, and he releases inside and stems when he runs a dig, and when he runs a post, he doesn't lean as much on the dig, and it's like all that stuff that's the fun part about football, and then you start to miss it, right?
Dude, it's so much strategy
Yeah.
involved, so much thinking.
Once you leave that, it's like, man, I took that shit for granted.
Yeah. But dude, it's such a motherfucker too, because when people say, oh, like, you know, it goes fast, but it's like in the moment, it's hard to actually be in the moment. Like, even if you're telling yourself, like, hey, be in the moment, I want to be in the moment, like, this is it, you still, like, your head goes somewhere else, it drifts somewhere else, and then all of a sudden you look back, like, oh, fuck, it was kind of fun. Like, you never really cherish it until it's gone.
I read a book early in my coaching life. It's probably the second year. It was my first year at Garces, actually. I read a book. It's by, I forgot the guy's name, but he worked with Russell Wilson after Russell Wilson threw that interception right, in the Super Bowl. And the book, it talks about like being neutral, blah, 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 blah. And then the next book in the series, it talks about being in the moment. And the term was called allure of the next level, right? So what happens a lot of times is, all right, we're at junior college. You're here for 2 years, 3 years, however long you're there. And you start thinking about, right now you're thinking about, oh, shit, I need to get an offer because this is my last year. I need to play well because this is my last year. But you start losing sight of the moment because you're thinking about what's next. And then when you get to what's next, you miss what you came from, right? So, like, with football, when it says it goes fast, what they mean by that is enjoy it because you're always going to think about what's next, right? So, senior year, you're thinking about, or right now you're thinking about, all right, I need to be good to get an offer because I want to go play at the next level. But if you just think about, okay, I just need to read the 2 high safeties on this play only and not think about what's going on next, you're going to be way better and you're going to enjoy the moment, right? And at the end, it's all going to work itself out, right? Most times in life, everything works itself out. But if you're looking for that, if you're seeking it like too hard, you're going to miss out on the fun you're having right now.
So really worry about the things you can control.
Exactly.
Things you can.
And that's why high school is always like the most fun time that you ever had. Like you went to college, you probably still had more fun in high school.
Yeah.
Because you weren't thinking about high school. You were thinking about, I can't wait to go to college, can't wait to go to college. And then you get to college and you're like, fuck, bro, like I had fun in high school and I didn't appreciate it. Right. So you just gotta kinda control what you can control, appreciate everything. Like football is not a game for long, right?
Yeah.
Like NFL stands for not for long, right?
Dude, the average lifespan is like 2 to 3 years in the NFL.
2 years.
And that's a great career.
Great career. And I tell people all the time, how old are you, JP?
I'm 20.
How old are you?
20.
I played my last snap at 21. So it's like, and I went to the highest of highs. You think about, oh, like football sucks. But you're doing the last thing ever at 21, and I'm supposed to live till 75. I'm living longer as a regular guy than as a football player.
Yeah.
So, like, you just got to kind of just embrace what you got right now. Even though it sucks, it's not going to suck for that long, right?
Yeah.
But when you start winning games and they're shooting off the cannon at BC, that's when it's fun, right? Right now, it's not supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
But you just got to embrace it, right?
Dude, it sucks too right now because, like, I mean, I think back in the day you were able to have more time spent, like, 2-a-days every day. You have 2-a-days every day. And I think right now, I mean, I think we need more time. We need, honestly, more time because, it doesn't even come close to, like, how it was at Division I.
Yeah.
Like, what the amount of time you spent during fall camp. I mean, calling this a fall camp's almost like,
yeah,
that's
the tough part, too, because, I mean, we can work you guys to death and do walkthroughs and practice and all that stuff. But at the junior college level, our goal is to get guys out, right?
Develop them.
Our goal is to keep you at Bakersfield College for as short of time as possible, right? A lot of people, you'll see them gray shirt guy to keep them there as long as possible. We want you to come and go, and that's kind of what we have to do, right? Got to kind of get you better so you can come and go. At the 4-year level, they put in a lot more than what we put in. Right?
Yeah.
They have a lot more complex schemes because they have more time with you. You have spring, you have summer, you have fall. Winter, spring, summer, fall, winter.
Year
so,
round.
like, if you stayed at Fresno, I know your coach went to Washington, but if you were with that coach all 4 years, by your senior year, you're installing the same stuff. Right?
Yeah, you do the same thing every year.
But you got to get the next guy ready. Here at BC, we have to install enough stuff to make sure everybody understands so we can get these guys in and out as fast as possible. Because at the end of the day, it don't, like last year we won 2 games technically, quote unquote. We really won 5, right? But we sent 4 linebackers to college.
Yep.
We sent 3 guys D1 and 1 guy D2. And one of the guys that went D1 didn't start, right? And that because we run the same stuff. We know exactly where we're going to be lined up. We're going to play fast. We're going to make plays.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of like the difference between JUCO and Division I or Division II level. Those guys, they're preparing for the next year, right? So at Fresno this year, if they start off bad and they go 0-3, 0-4, 0-5, they're getting the next guys ready because they know, like, all right, JP's a sophomore. We got to get JP ready to be good next year. For us, it's like even if we start 0-3, we still got to put a good product out because we want JP to go somewhere, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why we don't spend as much time installing 25 plays a game and all that stuff, just because it's like we can install that stuff, but we need to be able to have our kids not thinking, playing fast, being successful on the field, because at the end of the day, our goal as coaches at the junior college level is to win games, right? Like, I mean, a lot of people feed their family off football, but also our rep goes farther if we send 8, 9, 10 guys.
Yeah. Because it's like, who are the coaches?
Exactly. To the next level, I mean, that holds weight. That's why guys still come to BC no matter what. We got guys coming in and out every day asking if we got guys because they know that our guys are going to be well coached. They're going to tackle well. They're going to block well. And they're going to know what routes to run. Our quarterbacks are going to know their reads. They're going to know all the coverages because those guys translate instantly to Division I level. So now we can send them off with a good basic knowledge or even a advanced knowledge, and now you can progress that guy however you want to progress him. But he knows how to line up. He knows how to run to the football. He knows how to tackle, and he knows his basic coverages.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, just wanting to get guys out because you're trying to go somewhere else. You're not trying to stay there for 4 years. It's just like immediate. You're trying to have immediate success, and how do you do that in the fastest time possible?
And the fastest way to get immediate success is doing what you're good at, good. Right? It's like we can be average at 1,000 things, or we can be good at 5.
Yeah, good at a couple things.
And if you're good at 5, you're gonna go far away, right? If you think about anybody that's good at anything, think about Kobe Bryant. Was Kobe Bryant the best ball handler? No, but when he got to the elbow and he rises for the jump shot, he's probably gonna make that shit 90% of the time.
Yep.
Right, and that's what we kind of try to instill. Was like we're gonna be good at this every single time. If we call whatever play, we're gonna be good at that play.
Yeah.
Right? In the contrary, we can put in 75 plays and be average at all 75, but at the end, 1, we don't have enough time to rep that stuff. 2, what is that doing for us?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have time. Yeah, exactly. All right, so how long have you been coaching at BC? 2 years?
This is my second year.
Second year?
Yeah.
And how do you like coaching? Is it?
Junior college level is fun. It's different. So
Is it different from high school, coaching at Garces?
Well, you go from Garces to where every single person at Garces is going home to a nice family. You know, it's like even the guys that aren't Garces kids, they go home to good families, right?
Yeah.
Then you get these guys from junior college who a lot of guys are at junior college for whatever reasons, right? So you get these guys that are first time away from home, first time away from their mom. They're staying in an apartment with 3 guys. So, like, the off-the-field aspect of it was a little different because I'm used to at Garces, it's like you guys are going to school, you guys are coming to practice, you're going home to your mom, you're doing your homework, cool.
You really don't have to worry about
I
that.
don't worry about anybody. At BC, it's like, did you go to class today? Yeah. How do I know? I don't. And now I'm just trusting you, right? We can do a little class checks, or your grades at the end tells me if you went to class or not, right?
Yeah.
But it's not, you don't have, like, the parents being as involved at the junior college level.
It's more unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also at the junior college level, I can expect a lot more because I remember, one of my favorite things that happened, I remember my first practice at Garces, I'm standing back, and it was Nick Seal, Dylan Briscoe, it was Garrison Hallam. They're all standing back, right? And
Gary.
we're doing a team drill, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like most times people are standing back and they're talking about some bullshit. These motherfuckers were talking about wishing they got into Oklahoma State. And I was like, I don't know, like, how hard I can push these kids, because, like, at the end of the day, they're playing football just to have fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they have their own goals at the end, right?
Yeah.
So I couldn't be like, Nick Seal, what the fuck? Do you want to fucking go play divisional football? Nick can be like, no, I want to go to fucking UCLA, right? At junior college level, now it's just like,
Guys are trying to get out.
you told me that you wanted to go D1. You're not showing that you're playing like a D1 player. So I can hold a lot more guys accountable at the.
Like, hey, what are you doing? Like, get your shit together.
What the fuck? Is this the effort that's gonna get you to Division I? No? All right, then you need to handle that internally, right?
Yep.
At the high school level, it's just like, do you want to go play Division I football? No. Oh well, what do I say to that kid?
Yeah, nothing.
Go out there and have fun, you know. And that's kind of the hard part about high school, is everybody doesn't have that same end goal.
No one has the drive to do that.
At
There's
JUCO, 99% of the guys have that same end goal. I want to go to the next level.
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's so many guys that just are not accustomed or not exposed to the work. There's so many guys that just do not know how to work hard or how to, like, get over things that are hard.
Yeah, that's the hard part, because you come from, every high school is different, right? So you guys come from Coach Gass and then Tagola, two guys that come from higher level that have won, right? And they know the grind of it. Not every high school football coach is a football player, right? Some high school football coaches, they're just teachers, right?
Yeah.
They love football. And it's like, well, I was offense coordinator on freshman, and then I went to JV. Now I'm on varsity as an OC. Our head coach left, so now I'm the head coach, right? So a lot of guys don't come from good high school programs, right? So you have to kind of, like, let them know this is different. Well, we're holding ourselves to a Division I standard. I know we don't put as much time, but you probably feel it. The practices are very similar to Division I practices.
Yeah, no,
right?
they're fast. We're moving
fast,
the entire
tempo.
time.
We're not spending a lot of time coaching on the field. We coach in film, all that stuff. A lot of guys aren't used to that aspect. They're used to slow practices. They're used to playing both sides of the ball. They're used to being the star player, to where, like, when you're a star player, you can do whatever you want. It's like, I ain't coaching today. I ain't playing to play, coach. My head hurts. And it's like, okay, you're the star. Joe, my shoulder hurts. All right, cool, Joe. Go sit out. Be ready for game day. At this level, it's like, my shoulder hurts. All right, we're preparing for the next guy. And that's what a lot of guys, they'll start to realize it towards the end of camp, into first game of the season. Right now, it's just hard because, I mean, you got to get guys reps. You got to get guys ready to play, right? And you got to get as many guys as possible ready to play. Once they start realizing that this stuff isn't, I mean, we're going to put the guys that's going to win. Right?
Yeah.
Once they start realizing that, you start seeing a shift in mentality at practice. And just with just kind of the physicality and the tenacity of practice, you'll see a shift.
Just when the guys get the starters get more reps and everybody knows.
And then
Who are the guys?
also, like, September 3rd, we got 12 weeks left in the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you start saying, like, oh, shit, I only got 12 games left, right? Right now, you don't see it because it feels like September 3rd is so far away, right? That's just 2 weeks away. And then once that hits, you're like,
Now it's rolling.
November 15th is my last game if I don't do what I need to do.
2 months.
Yeah, that's the tough part about right now in fall camp. I mean, fall camp's a grind for every team. But once you get past the fall camp and you start seeing that game on the horizon, you start seeing guys turn it up.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to start playing. I mean, we got the inter-squad scrimmage on Saturday, then we got the next scrimmage the week after. But, dude, I'm so fired up. I mean, I know we got a really good secondary, too, and you're coaching the secondary, guys.
We got some guys. We lost a lot of guys last year. So for guys that actually played, we sent Jalen D1. We lost some other guys transferring. So we got a lot of new guys. Luckily, our defense is very vanilla, right?
Yes.
It's just about being in the right spot, having your eyes in the right spot. You get to fly around. So we got some good guys that came in, right? So we got some guys that are ahead of schedule, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
That look a lot better than what we expected them to look. And that helps. And then we have a little bit more depth than we had last year. Last year we had, I mean, probably 7 guys for those 4 positions, right? So it's like if anybody got hurt, I mean, it
We're
is what it
kinda
is.
done,
Yeah,
yeah.
like we're just rotating in and out. Now we got a legitimate 2-3 deep in each position. And it's kind of showing itself because those guys are out there competing for reps. And, like, as you seen, we had a little skirmish. We had 2 skirmishes.
Oh, dude, I've never seen that before.
We had 2 skirmishes in 2 days because now these guys are feeling like, all right, I'm good. This guy's also good. I got to go get my reps. I got to show him that I'm better than him, right?
Yeah.
Which is always good. Competition in-house is probably the best thing you can ever have as a football coach.
I agree with that.
Guys, I really hate to be that guy, but I have to hop on the Zoom meeting.
What time
in
is
2
it right now?
minutes.
Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay.
Loser.
And Shannon, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
This
thank you
has
so
been
much,
really
brother.
cool.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
And, yeah, we're gonna conclude. Please watch.